In 2012, I'd had a longing to pursue my entrepreneurship goals. I figured 22 years was long enough to spend in education. I'd done what I could there, and I had my own personal goals. And I've been an entrepreneur since, gosh, as long as I can remember. I can remember being in first and second grade, selling magazines and newspapers and candles and all that type of thing. And it was always fun for me. It wasn't so much the money part of it. It was the fact that you were providing something to someone that they seemed to really enjoy. And so that was always fun for me. So I've been an entrepreneur for myself personally for many, since as long as I can remember anyway. And I've always had that desire to be a business owner. I know Tammie didn't really enjoy it that much, but I enjoyed spending time at her garage sales and watching my old underwear fly out the door and that type of thing. But I always enjoyed that type of thing. And in 2012, when I guess education budgets were starting to tighten up, I was the supervisor at that time. I had cut budgets for probably 8 of the past 10 years at that time. And I'd cut enough people and that type of thing at that time, and the only person left to cut was my position. So I actually had to cut my hours at that time and decided enough was enough, and it was time to, if I was gonna go broke, I was gonna do it on my terms. And so at that time, I told Tammie that I wanted to leave, and she was very supportive of that, leaving education. And she asked what I wanted to do, and at that time her mother had passed away. It was about that time, and her mom had left the family a little bit of money. So I was bold enough to ask my wife if maybe I could borrow that money and build a business, and hence Fast Graphics started. And the way Fast Graphics got started is it kind of happened out of my necessity. People who know me that I'm a racer at heart, but there's no possible way to make money racing, so I had to figure out a way to make money. I decided that I needed to be involved that way somehow, and went to work. I actually went on Craigslist. Craigslist at that time had just started and gotten popular, and I knew that I needed graphics for my race cars every year. And the businesses in here in town were really good at what they did, but it seemed like I was always waiting for my graphics. I was either calling them the last minute and saying, can I get my stuff today? I'm going racing tonight. And there was times when I would be actually putting my race car decals on my car as I was pulling out of the racetrack. So I just thought, maybe this would be an opportunity to purchase a piece of equipment myself and teach myself how to do it. So that's what we did. We drove to Rochester.
Yeah, I think it was
Rochester, and bought an old vinyl cutting machine from a gentleman that had probably 50 rolls of vinyl and the software. And we brought that home, and I played with it for the first couple of months with my stuff, and have just since taught myself how to do that over the time. So that's where Fast Graphics comes from, was my necessity or my need to have vinyl graphics for my race team. And I thought, well, it involved racing, and some people saw my race car at that time and said, wow, that's pretty nice, who did it for you? And I said, I did it. And so I was doing a friend's car, and then I did friends' cars, and then I was doing friends of friends' cars. And so it just kind of blew up from there, and I thought, this might be the deal. So I asked Tammie if I could borrow some money from her mom's money that she left her, and said I wanted to build a shop. So we built a shop out at our home place, and bought the equipment, and we were off and running. And at that time, our oldest son Andrew was home, so thank goodness, because I was not technical at all. So this is one of the key points, is that he was our resource. I mean, you give a kid a computer and they can do anything. And so Andrew, thank goodness, was my oldest son, was my teacher when it came to learning how to use the GraphiX machine. And so he was home. He had finished his last year at Northern Iowa and went to Duluth and made it through football there. And he needed to make a decision at that point whether he wanted to be an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer. And when you're looking at $100,000 a year in schooling, we said, why don't you just take a break, come back and help me start the business. And so that's what he did, is he came back and helped me start the business. And so Andrew was our first employee. And Andrew didn't get paid a whole lot.
Free board.
Free room and board and laundry and that type of thing was the way it worked out. But Andrew was with us for probably 3 years or so,
Yeah.
and helped us get our feet in the door and dive in. And then he left. He decided that not getting paid wasn't good enough, and he left and went to Fastenal, which was probably the best thing that could happen to him. But he went to Fastenal, is now managing Fastenal in Duluth and in Two Harbors. So good for him. But since then, our business has grown as such to where we have expanded into U-Haul. Funny thing there, and you said I got 4 hours, right? So Andrew and I were having lunch at Taco John's one day, and the U-Haul truck was there. There was a U-Haul truck there, and it happened to be an AFM, or area field manager. And we were having lunch, and on the side of the truck it said, "Let U-Haul help build your business." So I thought about that, and I finished my taco, and we were going to head back to the shop and do our jobs. And I thought, "Cow, that I got to figure out what that means." So I walked back into the building, and I went up to the U-Haul gentleman sitting at his table, and I said, I'm sorry, I just have to ask you about the U-Haul thing on your truck. What does that mean, helping you build your business? And he said, well, U-Haul works with local business to provide U-Haul trucks and trailers for their community, and we're here trying to find a business to partner with. Apparently somebody had quit at that time and wasn't doing it any longer. And I said, oh really, well what does it take? And he said, well, maybe you can help me out here. He said, I was just at Big John's Automotive and tried to recruit him, but he said he didn't want to be open on Sundays, and he suggested some place called Fast Graphics. I was like, really? I said, you're kidding, right? He said, no. I said, well, what do you know about Fast Graphics? He said, well, I just know they're on Highway 32, and they have highway access and lots of property, and he just started a business. I said, well, crazy enough, I'm the guy. And he goes, are you serious? Long story short, he followed us out to our place, out to our shop, and about 4 hours later we were dealers, and we were off and running with U-Haul at that time. Since then, the Fast Graphics brand has grown like crazy, and we couldn't be more thankful for that. The people, the community have supported us. I'm a big social media guy. I mean, ask anybody. I believe in social media, unbelievably. And I do a lot of advertising on social media, and we have, our customer base isn't just Thief River Falls. And we enjoy our business partnerships with people in Thief River Falls, but our community is the Midwest, and we service a lot of folks, primarily racers, but businesses too, throughout the upper Midwest. And we consider the upper Midwest being anywhere from Montana, Wyoming, where we have customers, into Nebraska, down to Iowa, over to Illinois, Wisconsin, and we even have some crazy Canadians that are our business partners. So that's our community. Those are the people that we service, and they've helped us grow. They've asked us to do different things, and one of the different things that we've done is we've gotten a printer, and when we did that, I wanted to do it right, so we bought the largest printer you could fit in my shop, which is a 54-inch digital printer, which is a nice piece of equipment. Costs us about $15,000–$17,000. But along with that, we bought a laminator, which was another 8,000, and a cutter was another 10,000. Then the building was 90,000 or so. But we had a lot stuck into it, so we figured we're going to be in it for a while, and have just grown since. And we've about 3 years ago, we felt like, well, then Tammie came to work for me.
Right.
Tammie left social
5
services
years
at that,
ago.
5 years ago.
Yes. See how time flies.
Yeah. So Tam left her job, and I'll let her tell you that, but we've grown a lot since then, in the fact that our printing service is crazy. The more I've learned, the more we do. You know, we're able to print on not just digital printing media like vinyl, but we also do canvas and plastics, and we get into cups and mugs and, you know, all that type of thing. So the more I've learned, the better off we've gotten. And then U-Haul, of course, that I never figured would ever take off anywhere. I thought I would get tired of that, but they're a good partner to have. They're a national, world-renowned company. Whether you like them or not, they provide a good service, and it fit right in with our mold and what we wanted. We wanted to be involved in the community, provide a service that people wanted, that we're happy with, and that we could provide good customer service for. So when it grew big enough, we figured we'd move into town, and looked at several places. Our realtor's here, great job finding us something. So, but I guess in the end, we moved into a place that fits us perfect. We got great neighbors who's going to be speaking next. So we're really happy where we're at, and I'll be quiet. Tammie can talk for a little bit.
Well, I'm not a public speaker. Terry, I always say you give him a microphone and an audience, he'll talk for hours. So I just want you to know, my story, long story short, is I was at clinic between the two clinics in town for 18 years. Decided to get out of that, went to DigiKey for 9 years, and then after DigiKey, I went to social services. The shortest job I've ever had was 8 months. It was a terrible job, and it's nothing against the social services. It's just, it wasn't a good fit for me. I called him one day and I said, I put my 2-week notice in. He says, what are you gonna do? And I said, I'm coming home. And he says, well, I suppose you could do the U-Haul stuff. At that time, Andrew had left, and I said, yeah, I can learn the U-Haul. So that's kind of been my baby. I've been busy trying to get reservations and satisfy everyone and be open at the hours they need, and it's been challenging because it is a big business and it's not a perfect business, but it's been a good fit for us. It has brought a lot of people in our door, and some people very nice and some people not so very nice, but we put up with all of them and just get them on their way. And it's fun to talk to people where they're coming from, where they're going to, what they're gonna do, why they're leaving Thief River. So I get a lot of inside information. I don't always share it with everyone, but yeah, I hear a lot of stories. And yeah, so it's been really good for the both of us. We're also both bus drivers, so that is something that works well with our personal business. Is we drive in the morning, come and open our shop, and we do have a full-time, or an employee now, who can keep the shop open for us while we're afternoon driving. So that's been very beneficial because I think he does get busy. And that's about it for me. We enjoy our new building a lot.
So that's us. That's
Is
our
there
business.
any questions? Does anybody have any questions you'd like to ask?
How has, you mentioned you use social media quite a bit. How has it helped you with customer acquisition? And what are some tips maybe that you could give other businesses that might need to use social media maybe in a different or better way?
I guess for me, I was in radio for a long time, and nothing against radio, but they charge for their service, and social media doesn't. And we're a visual, our business GraphiX is visual. People need to see it, and what a better place to put it on. You can throw it on there, and you know, maybe your friends see it, but their friends see what their friends see, and it just kind of, you know, blows up from there. So, social media for me is a no-brainer. I think you need to take advantage of it. Again, it's free, and there's nothing wrong with showing off what you're proud of. So, and usually those people will show off what they're enjoy getting as well. So.
Well, I've had a little interaction with you, and one thing I've noticed, you're very personable in your communications back and forth. So I'm guessing that's one of the things that's lent to your success with social media. Just, you know, using it to engage customers.
Yeah, I'm a people person. I love communicating with people. I like to talk. You come in our shop, we'll talk about vinyl for a little bit, but we'll end up on someplace else as well. So I think people enjoy that. I think they like that. They learn to trust you that way. So yeah, I have social.
I have a follow-up. What platforms do you use? Facebook or Instagram?
I am not an Instagrammer. Primarily Facebook is what I use. I like to see the news. It seems like that's where you see it first, right or wrong. But yeah, there's lots of good stuff on there. Drew Erickson shares a lot of great stuff with his business through social media, you know, and I've learned a lot from that kid, you know. So, I'm not creeping here or anything. I'm just learning.
Right.
That's quite right.
So-
Put it on social media better not be secret.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing is I think, you know, I like to learn. That's what I'm all about. I learn something new every day. So, my wife was not a Facebooker. She hated Facebook. But I think honestly, you know, when you look at our business, and I've not spent $1 in Montana or Wyoming or Nebraska ever, as far as advertising goes. And we get a lot of customers from out there, so social media is right on.
So are you doing paid advertising on Facebook, or do you just
I have
let
actually
people share?
I've actually tried paid advertising on Facebook, but it goes where I don't know where it goes.
Okay.
You know, where if I post something and I post it to my friends or my little community, I know exactly where it's going.
Right.
If
And then, so other people are seeing it just
Right.
because your friends are sharing it, and
Right.
it's.
I think with that paid advertising, not that it can't work, but I really think that it's sometimes bypassed because it's just another ad.
It says sponsored right on top, so people are
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, keep going, right?
So for me, you know, if I see Drew talking about something, I know it's Drew.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna believe him a lot more than I'm gonna believe somebody that I don't know, so.
Right.
So I just like that aspect of it.
One follow-up, I've actually used Fast GraphiX and they do great work, so I just wanna compliment you on that. You're very flexible to work with, but with your two businesses, have you noticed, are they basically completely separate, or have you found them actually to bring an advantage from, in having both of them, have you found an advantage where they actually cross over at times as well? Or give you an advantage in acquiring new clients?
Yeah, it has been a real good
Yeah, combined.
partnership. You know, like Tam said, we get customers in who, you know, are coming from Illinois and Louisiana and Oklahoma, and they don't know anything about Thief River Falls. So when they walk in our door to drop off their equipment and see all that we do immediately, and we offer things for not just business. I mean, we offer decals for anybody. You know, if you've got a message to put on the back of your car, whatever that might be, we can hit you with that. You know, we can do that for you. You can stick it on. You know, we do a lot of T-shirts and that type of thing, personalized T-shirts and caps and mugs and whatever. So, you know, those people not only need business signs, but they like to have that kind of thing. I've wrapped refrigerators and beer coolers for some of these guys. So, yeah.
You did
So
the
it's,
wedding mugs you did the mugs and cups in my wedding as well.
that's right. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. We didn't do anything for your baby though.
Not yet.
I have a question. First of all, the first comment is, I hope you guys have a big stack of visitor guides on your counter, because you're probably the first face if somebody's moving into the community. So you're the first faces of our community, so we
We have
appreciate that.
Yeah, we have talked about that actually. We've said, you know, what a great place to have a welcome basket for
Yeah.
people who are coming in.
What
I
used to
mean-
be the welcome wagon, I remember that when we moved around a lot when we were first married because he was in radio, so he didn't stay anywhere too long. And there was such a thing as a welcome wagon who would, you know, bring you a box of certificates or coupons to
Right.
get used to the community, which is gone now. you
So
know.
we'll have to get you connected with Mark Schmidtke, cause he's big on that one right now.
Yep,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
working on
Yeah,
a
it would be.
new kind of welcome package
Mhm.
process, so forth,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we could ask a lot of stuff, you know, what's the best restaurants, and where do you buy this, and where do you buy that, and who's open when, and who's, you know, all that type of stuff, so we try to answer as much as we possibly can, because we've been here for 30 years now, but, we don't have all the answers.
Right. And the second question I had was, everybody says when you start a new business, it's all about location. Now, you were on Highway 32 before, now you're very visible. Have you seen an increase in walk-in business, or has that new location helped you?
I think it has. You know, before, people would say, they put 11750 State Highway 32, which is our address, in their GPS, and they were sent north of Thief River Falls into some field. And we're like, well, we really don't have any control over that, you know, it's a Google thing. And now they put in 1436 North Main and they come right to us. So I think that part has helped a lot, and, you know, I wouldn't say walk-in traffic because we're still far out of town, but yes, we get a lot of people who would maybe come on their lunch hour as opposed to have to make a special trip 4 miles south.
Right.
So, and it's nice to have our home again. When we actually go home now, we feel like that's our home, we're not gonna get interrupted or.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if we're actually getting more walk-in customers, because when we're out at our home, our customer hours were midnight to midnight. We're in town, we're, you know, 9 to 5. And, so but I guess if I were to look at our books and see, we have, in our ledgers, I have counter traffic. So, if I were to look at that, I would say that our counter traffic is up a lot being in town.
Right.
Plus with U-Haul, we've added, you know, supplies, which we didn't have room for before out at our old place. When you order from U-Haul, boxes and tape and all that stuff, they require you to order a pallet. And it just didn't fit in the shop that we had. We had, you know, printers, cutters, laminators, so now we have that room to actually store the stuff and make it a showroom and sell the stuff. And that makes a difference too. People just come in to see what kind of boxes we have.
This is just a note on the Google Map pins, because you mentioned that if anybody has a map pin for your business that's in the wrong spot, you can contact Google and get that corrected. So you can get your pin corrected, so just keep that in mind, because these days it is like critical that you have your pin in the right spot, you know, for deliveries, for customers finding you and all of that, so.
Okay.
You know, that is one thing, though, that we have had trouble with, is when we moved into town, we were contacted by every possible scam out there saying, we need to, you know, you need your, even today, after I've updated my Google's information, I get calls or emails saying, your Google information is incorrect, you know, pay us $999 and we'll fix it for you, you know? So, that's one frustration for me, being in town, is, boy, we get a lot of that stuff now, where it's either email or somebody stopping in or calling us, so, but, yeah, having the right location on Google would be a benefit, I think.
All right, well, if that's it, thank you guys very